Bienvenue à tous pour
So welcome everybody for the interview of Good Time, a film by Josh and Ben Safdie. It's their first filming competition here. Thank you both very much for coming along. And you've brought Robert Pattinson, who we're thrilled to see back in Cannes in the competition. How are you, Robert? You well? Thanks for coming.
I'm great, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Merci. À vos côtés,
alongside you, a young actress that we're discovering with this film, Taliah Webster. Hello, Taliah.
Merci d'être avec nous. Et
thank you for coming. And Buddy Duress, one of your favorite actors. You okay? You okay, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good.
Merci d'être là.
So thanks for coming. So I was wondering, because this is the first time that you're presenting a film in the official competition in Cannes. I mean, you're young directors. I mean, what's it like for you to be here in Cannes in the competition? Josh, Benny?
We've been working on this since we were six.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's every film is the kind of the culmination of what you've been doing since the beginning. And if I die tomorrow, it's just the end of my life. So I'm an old man. I mean,
yeah, no, it's true. We've been working very hard, making films, and I ignored it until yesterday when the screen opened during the technical check, and it opened so slowly. It was like ripping me open, and it was just it was a beautiful feeling.
Yeah, they the Festival de Cannes, they have the steps where they kind of show you the filmic gods that you're following the footsteps of. And when we were at the Fortnight, they have this kind of piano montage where you're seeing again all these filmmakers. I don't know where to go. The next where to go is death. So honestly, I'm going to keep talking about death. So we can do that if we want.
Je vous le souhaite pas.
No, well, I hope you don't die. I mean, don't come to Cannes and die. I mean, it's, come to Cannes and keep on making films. Robert Pattinson, I mean, you wanted to work with Josh and Benny, and as well alongside Benny. I mean, what did you like about their films?
I don't know. I loved the energy of Heaven Knows What. That it just felt very authentic, and it felt very wild and kind of out of control. And I don't know. I just really liked them as well. I met them, and they were very accessible to me the whole time. And basically, as soon as the script came, it was one of the best scripts I've ever read. So I was in right from the beginning.
Vous l'avez écrit en pensant.
So did you write it thinking of Robert Pattinson? When you wrote it, were you thinking about Robert?
Yeah, Rob approached us and very explicitly said, "I'll do catering on your next film if that's what it takes to work with you." And I don't. He can't cook a hot dog, so I was not interested in that talent of his. But he approached us, and we wanted to make something bespoke and something vertical. And we worked from basically an obsession with a concept, and then you apply that to Rob, and me and Ronnie Bronstein, who I wrote the script with, we're constantly relaying back with Benny. Ronnie's kind of like another brother of ours, and so we wrote. It was actually great to write with Rob, because we would the hardest part about writing the movie was writing the biography of the main character, because we wrote one that starts with minute 1 of his birth, the character's birth, and it ends with minute 1 of the movie. And sending some of the biographies to Rob, he would question, like, well, why did he eat this at the car dealership when he was 19 years old? I was like, Rob, this is as hard, if not harder, than writing the screenplay, especially when you ask questions like that. So it's a collaborative experience.
Just what was so amazing for us was just the pure dedication to go full on. Everything we did, he was game for, and that was what he approached us with originally. And how could you turn that down? Somebody who has that amount of passion and drive to go 5 extra miles.
And the most exciting thing was to put Rob opposite Benny and Buddy, and then later Taliah when we cast Taliah. But the original idea is I sat down with Rob and I said, in Heaven Knows What, the Mike character, he's in prison right now and he's keeping journals, and they're wildly inspiring, and I want to pair the two of you together. And then the brothers started to come into fruition.
Qu'est-ce qui vous a surpris dans
What
leur manière
surprised
de
you about the way
travailler?
they
Ils vous ont
work?
donc présenté toute la Bible des
They gave you the
personnages,
Bible of the characters,
du
the
début de leur
biographies
naissance jusqu'à
from their
la fin.
birth right through to the end. What did you appreciate about the shooting in your role, Robert Pattinson?
Well, let me have a little think about this. I think just the enthusiasm to come back. Like, you know, there are some people who say, "Oh, I'll be available to you for any questions or anything at any time," and like, you know, they're coming up with biographies for the character, but then I would question it, and then they would get back to me almost immediately, and like whatever silly question you have about some kind of detail of a character's past, it was never too much. It was never the wrong time, and I haven't really experienced that with that level of enthusiasm and commitment. And then on set, I've just never experienced a level of intensity and energy. I mean, I think they kind of not only thrive off chaos, but kind of foster it, and like and like basically they sort of, you know, they'll be driving a car at top speed and then just be like, what if we just take out the brakes as well? I mean, let's see what happens. And it just kind of feels like that, which it's a very fun and unique experience to work with them.
Votre rôle m'a fait penser à
Your
ces
rôle
rôles des
made me
années,
think about these roles of the
70, ces
1970s,
personnages des années 70 qu'on voyait new-yorkais, notamment
you know,
filmés par
New York
Martin
filmed
Scorsese.
by
Est-ce
Martin
que vous aussi, en
Scorsese, I mean,
interprétant ce rôle, vous avez
playing
eu des
this
références
role, did
comme
you
celle-là,
have
de
references
ce
like
cinéma
those going on in your
américain
mind?
qui filmait
You know,
New York,
these 1970s
dans les années
American
70,
films.
notamment Martin
You know,
Scorsese, bien sûr.
Scorsese, of course, to name but him.
I mean, they'll probably answer, but I know the ones our reference point was we watched Executioner's Song with Tommy Lee Jones before, and Straight Time. Dustin Hoffman was kind of one of the ones, but I mean, they'll be better at answering.
The inspiration from the movie, you know, didn't come from other movies. If anything, it came from, you know, real life. You know, my friendship with Buddy, or you know, my obsession with the TV show Cops, which I consider to be the greatest American TV show of all time. I do, and I think that there's more truth in, you know, the subjects of Cops. When I say subjects, they're not the titular characters. They're the people who you want to spend more time with. And I think that, you know, someone like Norman Mailer, you know, and his book Executioner's Song, and then the brother book In the Belly of the Beast. These are where the kind of the films are being inspired from. I wouldn't say that like we watched this movie and we want to do this, but we did watch Executioner's Song because, you know, we didn't want to sit and read a 1,000-page book together, you know.
Just quickly, at the same time, the idea of working in a genre with some of the things we had learned in the past with the films we were making was a challenge for us, and we wanted to step up and do that.
Taliah, qu'est-ce que ça représentait pour
Taliah,
vous
what
de
was it
tourner
like
un
for
premier
you
film
to
avec
do
Robert
your first
Pattinson,
film with Robert Pattinson?
Okay, so I've watched every single Twilight, back to front, front to back, just about 100 times a piece. Yes. So
None of us knew that.
So like when I had the opportunity to meet him, it was like shocking. Like it's actually Robert Pattinson, but you know you can't show him that he's all that, because you don't wanna get him on his pedestal. He feels the type of way, but you wanna like make it seem like as normal as you can be. Like I don't feel like fame should be something that people take into. How can I say?
Je voulais.
No, Buddy.
Juste un mot pour
Just a
Buddy
quick word for Buddy
Duress.
Duress.
Vous, qui venez de l'univers des
You
frères
came
Safdie,
from the Safdie's world's universe.
Jouer justement d'avoir
What was
ces
it
scènes avec
like
Robert
playing these scenes with Robert
dans l'univers de
Pattinson
ces frères
in
que vous connaissez,
the universe and the
bien.
world of these brothers you know so well?
Qu'est-ce que ça a représenté pour vous?
What does it represent for you?
Playing with Rob Pattinson, acting alongside him. I mean, his character in the movie and my character in the movie, we really don't get along. So, I mean, it was pretty crazy. After like 6 weeks of shooting, I would see Rob during the like 5th and 6th week, and I was like, oh man, this guy again, man. Can I curse? Am I allowed to curse? No, right? I was like, damn, this asshole again, like. You know, it really got real, you know?
Ça vous a aidé, j'imagine, Robert Pattinson.
That probably helped you, no, for your character.
I guess
to have people like
Buddy Duress,
Buddy Duress, no?
No, for sure. I mean, they're like, as soon as I'd loved them in Heaven Knows What too, and as soon as they said Buddy's going to be in it, I was like, yes, like perfect. And Taliah as well, when she came into, I don't even think we did a proper audition. We just talked to each other, and I was like, yeah, she's perfect. I mean, it's kind of, Yeah, it was a long time as well, and Benny too.
Yeah, Benny,
literally,
yes.
Benny, we auditioned Benny.
Ah oui.
He auditioned himself.
Pourquoi vous avez choisi de tourner vous-même dans ce
Why
film?
did you
Benny? C'est
decide
parce
to
que vous
play
vouliez
in the
tourner
film,
avec
Benny?
Robert
Because you
Pattinson?
wanted to act with Robert Pattinson?
Yes, that was the reason. It was an organic decision, born out of the process of writing and just kind of discovering, okay, what would make this right? What would fit? And actually, yes, we did an audition of me as the character coming in, and it was a test for me and just to see.
But it wasn't really an audition.
It wasn't, no, but it was a test. I wanted to see if
Story about
yeah.
seeing the thing to Paris.
So we were talking to our producers, Paris and Terry, and who
on Oscar were like,
yeah.
that's it.
See what but they were like, okay, wait, Benny's going to play this character. They didn't know. So we sent them this audition, and they're like, who is this guy? He's amazing. We got to do it. We got to do it.
The audition was just like a 35-minute interview with him in character.
So I answered all these questions. I got very kind of uncomfortable in that situation, and then I kind of got up and left. And they were like, we need to use this guy. And then we called and told them it was us. Oh yes. And then there's
Merci beaucoup.
Well, thank
merci
you very
Josh,
much.
merci
Thank you,
Benny,
Josh.
merci,
Thank you, Benny.
Robert, bravo
Thank you,
à tous.
Robert.
Merci,
Thank you all
Taliah,
very
bravo
much.
pour
Thank you,
votre
Taliah, for your
personnage et votre
character
performance
and your
dans ce film.
performance
Et
in this
merci
film.
encore, Buddy
And thank you
Duress.
again,
Je vous
Buddy
souhaite à tous un
Duress.
bon
I hope you
festival
have a
de
great
Cannes. Good
festival
time.
here
Donc,
in
on
Cannes. So
continue
good
à en
time.
reparler
We'll
tout de
be
suite,
talking
bien
about
sûr, en
this
direct sur
now,
la
of course,
télé du
live
festival.
in the